We need to bring
Hello.
the video. Hey.
Well, I was going to use the iPad, but I can't download from the iPad right now because our Wi-Fi isn't up yet. So,
This you're gonna have to keep piecemeal.
and then this time we're going to have, the buyer is willing to pay the title policy here, which that's great as well. And you'll notice in the last one, we did not have the boundaries checked. Here we do, and the buyer's going to pay for that as well. And then this time, if the survey is not acceptable to the title company, the buyer is going to pay for a new survey. This is like a perfect contract. You want to see if you've got, this doesn't really happen, y'all.
But these two are contradicting because
They're totally contradicting.
because this one is saying the buyer's gonna pay for the
Yeah.
survey.
This is
but
what you want to see if you're the listing agent. These are night and day.
Yeah.
Totally contradicting. This is the point. So this is what you want to see if you're the listing agent. This is what you want to do if you're the buyer.
Because these are your people. Right here.
They're not really.
The listing.
No, I don't have the listing. I have the buyers.
Yeah, but if these
Yeah,
people.
these are your
Okay.
people. So then you put the swimming pool, and then but you want lower number of days here if you're the listing agent. So that's a less time of chances that they can fight to get out of your contract. So, and look, I missed this paragraph, y'all.
But as the listing agent, wait,
You missed which paragraph?
The Property Owners Association. That
Yeah.
is not. Yeah.
you're the listing agent. This is the
It's,
property you're selling for your people.
Mhm.
Why do you put objection?
I didn't write this contract. Somebody else did.
Okay.
I received this contract. I'm telling you what you want to see when you receive a contract.
So the seller selling the house,
This is
they
what
would
they
have
wanna
an
see.
objection?
They don't have them. The buyers want to put in a swimming pool. I'm just saying you want to see a lower number of days when you receive your contract. Ideally, you would like to see a lower number of days as opposed to the 6 I had when I'm a buyer's
Right.
agent. I put in 3 here.
But a seller wouldn't have anything in objections, right?
Seller's not going to write a contract. You're the seller. You got this contract. You're seeing it. So
Okay.
it's not an objection, but you know that you've gotten a contract. The buyer is going to want to put a swimming pool in at your house that you're selling.
Yeah, that's what
And so in case that they can, in case there's a big utility easement back there, they've got 3 days to object to it.
Okay, gotcha.
And then we skip a page. And so you'll see, you have a great agent here, because we're the listing agents, and they put the seller's disclosure in MLS, and that agent saw it, so they checked on here that the buyer has received the notice. What you need to make sure of as the listing agent, you'll want the buyer to sign and initial the seller's disclosure notice, and you'll receive that back, and that will go into Realty back office, and you'll hold on to that. Okay? And then they accept the property as is. You're still going to get a repair amendment, even if the house is as perfect as a perfect house can be. You'll get a repair amendment. And then on the residential home, service contract here, it's a lower price, so $400. All of this affects your net as the listing agent. So the other one was $600. This is $400. And then the closing date is April 18th as opposed to April 24th. So that's better because taxes are prorated. You're going to make more money. And then possession, they've given us a temporary lease back. Yay! More time so I can move. And then settlement and other expenses on paragraph 12. They didn't ask for any closing costs. Wow, I wonder which one I would pick. And y'all, sometimes you do get contracts that are this night and day. And then as the seller, I'm going to make sure my seller has the notices in here, or you can contact the title company and give them your seller's information. And sometimes you do that. If it's a perfect contract and you just initial and sign off and execute it, and you don't want to have to go back for initials because you changed this, then you can just email the title company your seller's information so that they can contact them. And then I didn't add the actual addendum to this for the seller's temporary lease back, but it's checked on here, and so is the third-party financing addendum. And then on the next page, oh look, we got a $250 option fee in 7 days. That's much better. And then you can also check will not be credited to the sales price at closing. So that makes it even more attractive because that's just my money. They're just paying me $250. How about that? And then you want to be sure and make sure that the contract's signed. And then again, I make sure to point out that you need to see that this is filled out. Y'all would not believe some of the lazy contracts you see. And it's so frustrating. Amber probably gets the maddest about it. She is such a stickler for everything being perfect. She's like, I want this right.
And then she has to fill it out.
And she will. She'll redo the whole thing for everybody. And then again, seller or listing agent, title company, title company, title company. This will be left blank.
Mhm.
And then the third party financing addendum, we'll go over this one. You've got a conventional loan. You'll put just the financed amount. You don't put the contract sales price, just the finance amount here. 30 years, 5%, because you've talked to their lender and he said, oh my gosh, they bought down their interest rate even more. They're gonna get 3.8%, but we're putting 5% just to cover ourselves. 30 years and 1% of the loan. And then you go down here and it's still contingent on the approval. So, but they only need 12 days because they've already talked to their lender and gotten most of their paperwork in. So as a listing agent, this is a beautiful contract. I mean, this is what you would love to see. And then you'll notice, and I circled this, you do not put a number here because that's only for FHA and VA.
Mhm.
So this one is conventional, is not subject to property appraisal.
What page is that?
That is on the second page of the third party financing addendum.
Oh,
So it's not subject. So there's no number there. And right now, so we just had about 4 years where it was crazy seller's market, but it's stabilizing. So we're gonna see more and more contracts like this buyer contract. And that's okay. I mean, this is reasonable. This is not reasonable. Actually, we saw more cash contracts that would be $20,000 over list price. I got one with a $5,000 option fee on it.
Mhm.
Crazy stuff. These are and we're gonna see contingencies, and that's okay. I mean, that's normal stuff. I mean, houses are still gonna sell. Texas is a good, stable market always. So, but this gives you an idea of what you need to do, and it's also a cheat sheet for when you write your first contracts. You'll be like, oh, what was that? Oh, it's 203B, and what numbers need to go in here? Just go look. I mean, ideally, when you're writing a contract, you're going to lean more towards this because you want these things for your buyer, the higher numbers instead of the lower numbers. Okay. Any questions? Let's go over any questions that y'all have about things.
When I get my first one, I'm sure I'll have.
Well,
even after looking at,
Of
you know,
course, yeah.
that's where I'll probably learn the most.
And what gets confusing too, like most of them have HOAs, so you'll have to do the HOA, and that we're gonna have a session where we go over the different addenda that is common because there's a number in there, there's days in there, there's amount in there, and then the way it reads can be confusing. So yeah, we're gonna go over those because you'll be like, I don't know what to put in there. So
What is the normal HOA monthly? Because people have to think about that with their house payment, you know.
well, and that's something
Okay.
that the lender will definitely
Is there a
ask and
normal
look into.
payment for most HOAs?
No.
Like
I mean, they're all so
Very
different.
different.
So, like ours is $50 a year, but Fox Hollows is $450 a year, and I mean they're
Our one at the trails is more than the one here.
for Shamrock.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's weird,
they're all over the place.
and it's retarded.
Some are $1,200 a year.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I was thinking Waterview is probably like $150 a month or something.
Mhm.
I think someone told me something like that.
My next home will not be in an HOA.
This one's not bad. This one hadn't been bad at all. I mean, of course, we know our HOA president. He's a great guy, but he's about to move, so.
Well, for 4 years, we've had our trash can out where it's been, right by the garage. Now we get a letter saying, you can't have your trash can out there. But we go through the neighborhood and there's trash cans all over. Our across the street neighbors, none of them have gotten a notice. They can see theirs from 213.
That's crazy.
I don't know what's going on. Maybe they don't like us.
I'm surprised you have a HOA out here.
I didn't think you did. I was surprised to hear that you did.
Like, cause you're farther out,
Uh-huh.
what, an acre or something? I'm
Yeah, and we're
surprised.
outside the city limits, but
Uh-huh.
yeah, they formed it.
Hmm.
It's crazy.
I don't know, some of them are really, hard to deal with.
Oh, yeah, some of them.
I just don't get it.
Any other questions? So do y'all have any leads? I think,
I haven't focused on anything real estate.
yeah, 'cause- well, I mean, it's time to get out there. I mean, now the market's getting hot, so go.
I mean, other than my
Go for it.
contact people, but I quit buying the leads.
Oh, you did?
hmm I just can't do it right now. But they weren't going anywhere. All the ones I was able to get to didn't go anywhere. But I have my list of everyone that called. I'm gonna reach back out.
Well, I got 3 this weekend from Realtor.com. You know,
Wow.
with building the house and everything, I was like, literally throwing things down, running out the house to show houses this weekend. It was
So
like-
how did you get them from Realtor.com?
So they call. I mean, like I get a text message and an email.
But so does other people.
So and I just call. I don't even look at what property they're interested in. I'm like, you want to go see a house?
I quit looking. Like she told me, call first, just call. So I called, and then I'd be like, I'm in an appointment. Let me look that up for you and call you right back. And I would call. Oh, well, somebody else already called me, and they gave me the information I needed, and that was pissing me off.
Yeah.
But I'm at the hospital, and I'm in a trauma
Yeah.
ER, and I can't. So I was
for
like,
you,
here, I'm
it's-
paying for all this stuff, and I can't use it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you do Realtor.com or anything right now?
So I just call them. I mean,
Mhm.
just immediately.
I get them. They do come.
Mm-hmm.
And I went like 8 months with nothing from them, and they called me and they
Oh,
said, I
wow.
know your leads have been really bad. If you'll pay $76 more a month, we will give you some. I was like, okay, no.
I don't know what she was paying, but I was paying $254 a month for a little bit in Forney and a little bit in Rockwall, and then I dropped Terrell, and I had a little bit in Mesquite.
Mm-hmm.
And they did come. They do come.
So yeah, I know. I'm not paying any more. The leads have been so bad. But then this weekend, I've gotten 3, so
Yeah.
I went to Sherman today to meet with a lady to list her house who wants to buy in Forney.
That's cool.
Yeah.
An hour and a half. She's so
That's-
nice. So
She's listing her house in Forney.
listing her house in Sherman. and
Oh, in
moving.
Sherman, the one's buying.
How in the world are you gonna list that one?
It was easy.
I mean, but you can't go there. Like, well,
When
you
you
wouldn't
list-
have anybody probably that would want to see it.
No, when you list,
I have one listed in Paris.
when you list, you go. I mean, I went and I looked at the property. I gave
Yeah,
her
but I mean, you won't have to
suggestions,
show it.
And then I'll go back and I'll put my sign and my lockbox on, and then I'll probably go 3 more times total.
That's cool.
Unless somebody wants to call who really wants to see it, and then we'll have to trek out there. 'cause
Check
that's
the show
my
out.
job.
Yeah.
If somebody, but they can call other realtors, I mean,
Yeah, but you rarely show your own listings.
yeah. Cause I would think they'd call somebody close by over there.
Well, usually people have their own agent.
Yeah.
And then today, you know, I joined. It's a power of a praying parent. Is what I'm doing on Tuesday mornings. There was a lady there who is looking for a new house, which is like, wow.
I've been surprised though, and there's been 2 people in my sphere of influence that I find out they went with somebody else.
Oh yeah, that's really upsetting.
It is sad.
It's hard to get past that, isn't it?
It is because these people question me and question me, and then they slip up